A brand new property today. It's pretty good size. I mean, not gigantic, but we definitely have some another weird screaming noise in the woods. We've got some woods to look around and some fields to look around. I've been out here for about an hour, covered maybe 20 acres, have not really found anything yet. But I saw a lane, like a farm lane, and I started following it, and it was a really old one, and look what I found. Can you see it? Looking in the viewfinder trying to find it. Right behind me here, and actually behind the tree, there's a chimney. And chimney and a foundation, so there's an old house here. Had no idea it was going to be here. It's not on any of the maps when I did any research, so I thought this might be just a potential area for Civil War camps. But since we're here, I thought we might explore it. Now, I haven't done any metal detecting yet. Looks like it's going to be really junky. I think it's been either lived in not too awful long ago, or at least there's had a lot of trash dumped here. In the more recent future, as you can tell, there's all kinds of bags of trash and junk everywhere. But that's an old house, I think. What do you think? Is that an old one? Wow, that's pretty cool, isn't it? Yeah, I'd say so. My first gut, oh, look at that. That's a big one, too. Look how big that thing is. My gut reaction on this one is that it is definitely a pre-Civil War house. Got some plumbing in it, so it was lived in. Oh, look at the sinkhole. So it was lived in probably well after the Civil War. There's a little bit of concrete, too. But let's go ahead and just take a look around. It's might be a good bottle dump here, or something even more spooky, like this cistern. Look at this thing. It looks pretty old to me, this construction, but there is some concrete, so and there's some plumbing, so we know it wasn't, that's not too old. I mean, that could be 1930, all we know, but some tires naturally. Over here is the cistern. Wow, look at that. Oh, I hope there's nothing dead in there. Is there? No, I don't see anything dead in there, which is good, and luckily I think most little animals could probably get out through this hole right here, so that's not too dangerous. There's lots of stuff floating. Yeah. Oh, here's our first clue as to what happened here. Look at all the charcoal. That's telling me that the house burned down. The burned bean here is telling me that it burned down too. If you look up against the side here, that's all burned. So I'd say the house either burned down when people were living here, or it burned down after they had moved out. But that's what happened. We know the fate of the house, at least. Man, that's a weird. I wonder what that is. Thinking it might be the privy, but it's awful close to the cistern. Oh, I know what that is. Do you know what that is? That's the well house. So there's a drilled well right there, and if I drop a rock down it, I bet it goes chunka chunka chunka. Let's drop a rock down it. Listen, shh. Well, I'll get stuck on the pipes. They would have had a pressure tank and a pump in there. Just look around a little more. Would have been a barn here somewhere. What I'm doing is I'm kind of looking for old glass and old pottery and maybe some oyster shells, because typically when you find oyster shells, it's an older site. I don't see anything like that, just modern stuff so far. Oh, look at this privy, this outhouse over here. It's a communal one. I guess the whole family can get in there at once. There's a well. So that well would have been hooked up to that pit back there. You know, I thought this was a privy. Make sure there's nothing in here, but I don't think it is. I think this is probably, oh, I don't know what it is. I was thinking maybe they put water in there to cool things. They have electricity in it, so that's not a privy. There's one here somewhere, but that's not it. It might be a headstone. All right, what do you say? Look around some more? Let's look around some more. It's a walnut tree. Nice big one. This must have been one of the chimneys right here. You can see how the bricks are just laid out straight back to the house. So there would have been a tall chimney standing up, just like that, right here, and it fell over. The bricks that I'm seeing and the stone really do make me believe that it's definitely pre-Civil War. It had a slate roof. Look here, this is all slate. So a slate roof home, probably log, by the looks of it. Another chimney here. So they had two big chimneys on each side of the house. This was probably the main part of the house, maybe the first part of the house. And a chimney there. This is the top of one. Hey, be careful. Let's go over here and look. A lot of ash. I'm gonna look here and just see if there's any like old melted gold coins or earrings that the groundhog dug out, but I don't see any. Lots of little nails, little square nails there. You can see how shiny they are. They aren't even rusted. A lot of times when nails have been in fires, they don't rust very much afterwards. So I don't know. What do you think? Definitely burned. Probably within the last 50 years. I'm gonna go ahead and explore just a little bit more. If I see anything else of interest, I'll let you know. But I think we've pretty much covered the site already. I'd love to find a bottle dump or something here. You know, with some nice old bottles in it. We should detect it too. But this is gonna be junky. Definitely gonna be junky with these old screens and all the stuff people have been dumping out here over the years. Kind of walking around in the basement a little bit, and I'm gonna show you a little something. If you ever get to an old house like this and want to look around, keep in mind that it's gonna be really hard to metal detect up in this area where the walls were, because it'll be loaded with nails like this. Look at all these nails here. Here's one, here's one. This will be just full of nails coming down. Everything in the walls came down here, but also good stuff that might have been in the walls too. So you might be able to find coins and things that were in windowsills and whatnot. Now when a house is burned, it might be a little bit less likely, but with them just falling down over the years, that's a real possibility. All right, I'm gonna poke around just a little bit and I'll let you know if I find anything. I really wanted just to kind of explore the property today, so we probably won't stay here very long. But we may come back another day. Well, we'll definitely come back another day, no matter what. So, all right, I'll get back to you in a minute. By the way, this is the lane I was following up when I told you I saw some, a lane that a farm lane I wanted to follow. You see it's kind of a dip that goes down in here. You got trees on both sides. So this is how they access this property back in the day. And then it comes up this way and curves around. And that would have been probably the front of the house up there. Oh, well, maybe not, because there's some steps right here. So that's concrete though. But this is definitely an older place. We're going to have to look around here a little bit. I don't see any sign of anyone else having dug here before. Normally, if there's not holes already here, you'll see stuff set up on rocks and whatnot, like horseshoes and pieces of junk. So I don't see anything like that. Let's go look at this real quick. A bunch of junk there. Fairly old though, it's been there a decade or more, I'd say. There's a little bit of a dip right here and some rocks, so there might have been a shed here, some type of structure. There's a little concrete here, some more, there's that little dip, so something was going on there. It certainly would have been a barn to this. Oh look, there's a trail, animal trail. Should we follow it? Looks like a small one. I don't think it's a deer trail. Let's go out here a little bit. Goes out that way. Alright, not seeing much, just more junk. A bunch of old shingles. Somebody piled up. Alright, so I'll get back to you as soon as I find something more interesting than what we're seeing here. We may dig here a little bit, but I might not either. I might just keep going and come back here another day. Yeah, we'll check it out just a little bit. Must have been the barn over here, or a barn. Concrete, so we know it's not that old, at least this construction. Look out here, look, all those things are laid in a line. I wonder what that's all about. Let's go look at that. That's strange, isn't it? I don't guess they were posts that fell over. I mean, that just doesn't make any sense. They're all laid out like that. It's even more up here. There's more trash over there. God, look at that. That's horrible, isn't it? Plan is actually going to be developed soon. The guy that gave me permission actually has farmed it for like 20 years, but he thinks that within the next couple of years there's going to be a big subdivision here. These nice little rock foundations, that might be worth digging out as well. I'm going to go to work. Got stuff to do. There's the chimney right there. I set it back to get my metal detector, and I just noticed that this is probably the outhouse or the privy. This would have been the square that was dug down, lined with rocks and concrete. Now, sometimes those can be really good to dig out, and other times, especially out in the country like this, not so much. But there was definitely a privy there. Maybe there was an older one here as well. You can see how these rocks are kind of in a pattern right there. So, well, let's try detecting. If it's really junky, we'll go on. Maybe go over in the cornfield or over in those woods over there. So I got my first signal here. I'm right next to the privy. And I dug it up, and it is a piece of foil, tin foil, a little ball of it. So we'll dig a couple signals right here, then we'll go over to the house. We'll keep that in anticipation for just a couple minutes, as long as I can, probably 2 or 3 minutes. One more signal, maybe. So I went ahead and marked just 2 signals. I thought we'd dig them together. There's a lot of aluminum in here. I can see it everywhere. Right there's an old pie plate. But I have a couple signals. One is right here. I went ahead and scuffed the ground. That's a little jumpy, but it's not a bad signal. And this one is actually pretty high. See, they're big or not very deep, so. Oh, by the way, I'm using the Garrett AT Max today. On program 0, I got the discrimination up to like 30 because there's so much iron in here. But let's go ahead and dig these 2 together. If they're both junk, we're going to go over by the house. Yeah, okay. There should be something here. Not very deep. Oh, big piece of iron. Look at that. That's what it is. Now watch what happens when we listen to it now that it's out of the ground. Listen. See, it's kind of chopped up now. So let's see if this one's any better. It's awfully big too, so I have high hopes for it. Yeah, more of that aluminum pie plate. More of this aluminum pie plate. All right, let's go over by the house. You know I couldn't stay away from the yard that long. Okay, we're gonna try right in the front, right where the driveway comes up to the house. Where that, the slate behind me, there must have been like a porch there. I'm sure there's gonna be a ton of iron in here, but maybe there'll be a nice coin or two, a nice big old silver or gold $20 piece or something like that. So what do you think? Right here? Lane comes up here. That's where they, that might even be like a stepping stone where they would get on and off horses. Who knows? All right, let's give it a shot. I'll fire her back up. So here's what I did. As I went around this area, I marked 6 or 7 targets. I just kind of, got the signal in my ear, kicked the leaves back, make sure it wasn't in the leaves. One was this thing, which is aluminum, so it's a piece of junk. So yeah, let's go ahead and dig them together. All right, one was like in the 80s, so it could be a silver coin that's right next to the sidewalk. Let's dig that one first. What do you say? Okay, this one is right next to that rock. About underneath that brown leaf right there. 80s. Small enough to be a good coin. What do you say? Actually, right here. Is it? Don't see it yet. I should have gotten it, I think. It's like a dime or something. Alright, it's right there in the corner. So why don't we come in close? It's in that loose dirt. I think it's in this loose dirt right here. Yeah, it's either in loose dirt or right here on the side. So I'll check it with a loop. Nope, that it right here, look. No, that doesn't look very good, does it? Oh, such a nice high squeak too. What is it? It's like a Vienna sausage can, I think. Oh man, those things sound so good. Listen to the squeak. Listen. Here's the deal. We got like 5 or 6 more signals right in here. If none of them are like a decent signal, like an old coin, at least like 1800s, we're gonna keep moving. We'll come back here one day, but I don't want to dig Vienna sausage cans all day. Neither do you, do you? All right, let's go to that one over there next. All right, number 2. Not a high squeak, it's about underneath that little piece of bark right there, not too deep. Not very big. I should have gotten it. I'd be real surprised if we don't at least find a wheat penny in here. Okay, let's get the machine out. Listen. Yeah, it's right there. So whatever it is out of the hole. Maybe right here, if you can see it. Yeah, it's in here. What is it? What is it? Ooh. It almost looks like a shotgun shell. Yeah, it feels very light though, like aluminum. I think it's a lid to something. Okay. Back behind where I found the Vienna, back behind where I found that little sausage can, there's a signal. So let's go back and get that. And remember to always fill in your holes, you know, pat them down good. I mean, you don't have to make it look like a golf course, but don't make it look like the hogs are rooting in here. All right. Number 3. There's number 3. It's reading about 54, so not the best. Jeez. I'm gonna stand up, I guess. There we go. Not gonna be very deep either. Should be like right in here. There it is, look. Okay. Pull tab. All right, see? Even though this is an old house, there's a lot of modern junk on top. Couple more signals. Here's another one. It's reading pretty good. Well, like right in here, I think. Some gravel that they brought in. Ah, no. Another lid Sprite. I don't think that's too old. All right. Next to the last 50s, right here. Underneath that leaf, pretty much. See it? Another one. Another pull tab. All right, we got one more signal. Now, I probably wouldn't dig any more 50s for a while unless we start finding, you know, Civil War eagle buttons or something. But one more signal, and then we'll decide what to do next. Actually, this is a twofer. I got 2 signals here. One right here. 60s. 60, 70. So one right here, then we're done. It's not something good. You see it yet? What's this? All right. And it's still in the hole. If we get out with our fingers. It's actually cold today. No, it's still there. All right. Let's see. Okay, it's right in here. Have it in my hand. We'll divide it. In my hand, divide it. Right here. It's another piece of aluminum. Probably the same thing over there. That's out of the hole. Not in my hand though. Not in my hand though. All right. Beer bottle. there. Yep, same thing, another lid. So that's why I hate these kind of places that have been lived in after about 1970 or 1870 or so. A lot of junk. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to turn the camera off, go ahead and maybe take a couple more signals real quick, get just a quick look, you know, try to get myself into it, and then we're going to head back out in the fields or maybe back in this other woods and try to find some place that has not been lived in for 130 years. Those are much better, trust me. So I hunted around the house for about another half an hour and I got zero keepers, so I decided to come over here in the woods. There's a dead deer right there. I'm going to give you a quick glance of it just to show you why. One of the reasons I find so many bones in the woods. Some of you guys seem to find it incredible, and I don't know why. I guess you don't go in the woods much. If you look right there, that's a dead deer. It was probably shot this year. And when I come through here next year, there'll be a pile of bones there. We're going to keep moving along and hopefully get into a better spot. If it's really, really terrible, the rest of the property, we may go back to that house, but that's on the bottom of my list right now. All right, let's get going. I'm going to check out the deer real quick. So I'm walking for about another hour, digging a lot of junk. I mean, just a lot of pull tabs and cans, and I mean, there's piles of trash all through the woods. So nothing good, but I do have a first time in the east where I have stumbled across a dead coyote. You know, I know they're in the area, but this is the first time I've actually seen one that's dead and not like running across the field somewhere. So, want to see it? I'll let you see it from here. So that's a dead coyote. That's the first one I've seen out in the woods. Check them out up close, just for the heck of it. And we're going to keep moving that way. You can see they've got ribbons on the tree, so they might be developing this whole farm much sooner than the farmer thinks. So here's another pile of junk in the woods. I've seen a lot of these and a lot of piles of tires and stuff. There's no milk bottle top though, so it might be worth looking at. I don't understand why there's so many piles of junk out here. See, that's the top to a milk bottle right here. And they can be fun to find because they will sometimes have the dairies on them. Can't tell if people have been digging back here or not. It's possible, but usually if someone's been digging, they'll have like a little pile of bottles somewhere that they didn't want to keep. And I'm not seeing that. Seen some almost whole milk bottles though. And here's one here. I'll definitely work on this place if we can get some with some dairies on it. That's a plain one though. That looks like an older soda bottle. Frederick, Maryland. Not seeing any cork tops anywhere in here though. Just, you know, a few Coke bottles, a little bit of coal. Not old enough for us. That might be cork bottle. Nope. Hey, what's this? Cloverdale. Not familiar with that one. That's a couple milk bottles here, but they're broken. Not gonna worry about those. A couple more broken ones. Of course, the problem with milk bottles is, you know, they're reusable, so that it wasn't something they would just throw out unless they were broken. But sometimes you do find big piles of them. Today might be the day. All right, yeah, I can see junk all through here. Looks like it remains of a car here, another junk pile over there, junk pile there, junk pile there. It's terrible, man. I'm still bebopping through the woods and I came across another dump pile, but this one looks a little bit older. I'll show it to you and show you a couple things I found, and then I'm going to show you something over there that's pretty bad. But we're going to have to explore. I'm going to leave my stuff here and just walk around because something weird's going on here. So this is a piece of coal that I found, which gives me a little bit of hope. But I also found this bottle, which is an older bottle for sure. It's an older medicine bottle. That could have been a cork top very easily. So we're going to look around a little bit. This is the dump itself right there. You can see there's a lot of fence wire and stuff. There's some bottles, but they're not very old. And what's worrying me is that stuff over there. I don't know if that's just like a giant modern dump Or it's like a super massive homeless camp or what? Should we go explore it? Look, trash all the way up through there too. Alright, so let's go check it out. I didn't really find any old bottles back there. Old car. Oh, maybe there's a house in here, another house or something. Hear the troll train off in the distance. Yeah, ow. There maybe is an evergreen right there, so maybe this is an old house or something in here. Well, maybe not an old one. Look at this mess. Wow. Man, they've been dumping here for a while. Obviously no one's dumped in here for many years, but look like they dumped here for many years. That is horrible. A little bit of aluminum in there, some cans. I just brought in 100 pounds of cat food cans and got $42 for it. That was pretty good. But I'm not gonna pick up these. All right, let's go up here, get away from this stuff. I don't know what that is up there. It's an old bag up in the tree, isn't that weird? Must have been sent. If you look on the ground right below it, there's probably a deer salt block there, and it melted and the deer ate the dirt, which is what they do. They eat the dirt that has the salt in it after a while. This place makes me sick. Let's keep moving. Still searching around in the woods, been out in the field a little bit, and just so loaded with aluminum cans and bottles and chopped up cans. Now, I just realized why. And it has to do with what I'm sitting on. Take a look. See that tree right there? That's an apple tree. And there's an apple tree over there. Right there. And there's an apple tree over there. This, apparently, this property used to be an old orchard. And in old orchards, the workers would be out there during the hot summer and spring and in the fall when they're picking the fruit, drinking sodas and stuff. And, you know, a lot of them would just throw the cans in the tall grass. So the orchard manager would come along, or whoever's mowing, and you always mow orchards with these big mowers a couple times a year, and it would chop up the cans and spit the pieces out everywhere. And that's why I'm finding so many cans, and that's why I hate metal detecting in orchards. I can see bottles and cans right here, so I'm getting out of here. I'm going to detect my way back to the front. There's one more spot I want to check that may or may not have been part of the orchard, but it's an open cornfield that looked really good as I was coming in. So let's go back there. If we don't find anything quickly, we're done, because, well, one, it's getting late, and two, I'm very, very tired. I've been walking for back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Seeing all these dead trees in rows. Should have picked up on that a lot sooner. All right, let's get going. Well, that was a fun hunt for me, but I think it was kind of a disastrous video for you. Didn't realize this was an orchard, and that makes perfect sense with that house that we were at. The first one with the chimney was probably used as a migrant camp during the orchard times back in like the 60s and 70s. And even the early 80s here, when there were a lot of apple orchards and a lot of migrant workers that would come in, mostly from Haiti back then. Of course, the orchardists would put them up in camps or the farmhouses and stuff that were on the properties. So I hate those places, absolutely hate them, and you know why. It's a lot of junk. So we're gonna head on out of here. Not gonna come back, not gonna do it. We're exploring somewhere else. Hey, thanks for joining me, and maybe the next one we'll actually find something. Hoorah! We'll see you.
Mother Earth has no sympathy. She'll take the ring from your hand and bury it in the sand and keep it for eternity. Mother Earth, she's got her secrets she's promised to keep.
Same thing.